testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Kill the music. Make sure the gain set band is right. Make sure the scenes them decent. Alright, I think we probably should be good to go. Well, going everyone, Sanju Uchiha here, back at it again for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, chapter 36. Seems like last month I was jumping the gun. For some reason, I thought that last month was chapter 36. I don't know why. But yeah, here we are, chapter 36, Parental Love. Hope you guys are doing awesome out there. Of course, let me know if the audio, I'm gonna just kind of adjust this a bit, make sure so we're still plugged in. Yeah, just make me know if the audio is good to go same way. No, I imagine it should be. Testing, testing. One second. All right. Yeah, so shout out to those of you who will be joining us for the first time, returning peeps, you know yourselves. Big up, big up. I know there's nobody really here just yet, but you know, maybe I'm starting a bit early. I know most of you have read the chapter already, so that's where usually I'm the one that's kind of late to the party, but you know, 9 to 5. 9 to 5. But with that said, shout out to those who will be joining after the fact. Let's get into it. So Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 36, Parental Love. Wait 1 second, there's one other thing I need. Okay, cool. Alright, Parental Love. Kidnap. Kashin Koji? Yeah, that's right. I can't even guess your motive. I only care about one thing. This task of yours better not end up hindering us from destroying the divine trees. Come on, you should know better. All of this is for my daughter. I want them disposed of as soon as possible, just like you. I just want to talk to Kashin Koji, one-on-one. Alright, I'm in. What's the plan? How cooperative of you. I thought you'd need more convincing. Drop it, I don't want to know more. As long as it won't interfere with my goals, it's enough. Wait, there's one other thing I need to... Copy. Let's see. Docs. 1 second, peeps. Chat. Yeah, so make sure. So this is not OBS here, so can't close. But this. Alright. Should be good to go again. Yeah. I just want to talk to Kashin Koji, yada 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 yada. That's so like you. Fine. Is Boruto in Konoha right now? Yeah, he's here. The sensory unit likely won't detect it, but I feel an Otsutsuki aura about. Great. Then this is our chance. Since Koji and Boruto are not together, and most importantly, if Koji's prescience undergoes an update, he'll be able to foresee our soon-to-be actions. So if we're to do this, it has to be now. Malaiko, I don't recall it being the case if Kawaki was told about prescience before, or if he kind of just concluded that's what was going on. But anyway, let's see. It's just kind of interesting that Amado would just mention it like Kawaki's supposed to know what he's talking about. But maybe I'm forgetting something or I missed something. Can get me back up to speed if I did. So if we're to do this, it has to be now. Alright. When I came to, I was somehow on the rooftop of the Hokage's office. I'd just been speaking with him in the interrogation room. I have no memory of getting out of my chair, much less leaving the room. And that's not all. To my dismay, A bunch of those divine tree creatures were surrounding me. My head was spinning. It was a truly desperate situation. Then suddenly, he appeared. That Hokage killing traitor, Boruto. It happened in the blink of an eye. Boruto wiped out the divine trees attacking Lord Kobu. All 6 of them with a single blow. Are you saying Boruto saved Lord Kobu? That's certainly how it appears. However, I have a different opinion. It's not a total farce. Boruto just conveniently was passing by and saved me. It's a story too good to be true. No mistake, it was all planned. I was set up. And then... What? Dad? What do you mean, you were set up? Can't you see Yamanaka-sai? I was set up by Nara Shikamaru, Boruto, and likely others as well. At any rate, they conspired to obstruct my interrogation. Why would Shikamaru help the traitor? I won't rule out the possibility he's being coerced by, but either way, the timing of that interference provides enough grounds to suspect a connection between them. Wait, H2O? Wagwan. It's been a while, but we're still here alive and gunning. The impertinence. At this point, the hypothesis that the Divine Trees and Boruto are in cahoots suddenly takes on a ring of truth. It makes more sense if it was Boruto himself who deliberately lured those Divine Trees into the village. While their motives remain obscure in some respects, the damning connection between Nara Shikamaru and Boruto cannot be denied. Wait a minute, that's going a bit too far, isn't it? Suggesting the Hokage himself is directly involved in acts of treason against the village? Ah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. It makes perfect sense. In fact, it's the only logical conclusion. The only culprit who could have freed Boruto and aided his escape is Nara Shikamaru. There must be something, some definitive evidence that proves it, and I swear I shall find it. Needless to say, abetting a traitor is a serious crime. It'd be no different for the other accomplices, but, for now, as leader, the Hokage must be held accountable right away. I've already submitted my report to Lord Daimyo, so it's only a matter of time before we receive his approval. Wait, Bio? Well, go on. Keep going, bro. Like, I don't know. That's a whole thing. Wow. I know it seems like Melissa was like just the other day, literally. It's almost been a year at this point. Me personally, not so much, really. Yeah, I mean, some of my family members, yeah, they were affected, but not too drastically. So, it was bad and so bad for like for my peeps, but yeah, a lot of other persons were like really affected. So, and even now in July, like there definitely are some people who still haven't like recovered back to 100%, which is kind of rough because it's we're in hurricane season again. So life keeps on giving, right? What can you do? But yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here, just kind of keeping it down, kind of doing my thing as per usual. It's set already. Respect for the support. But yeah, but let's continue. Approval to relieve Nara Shikamaru of his position as Hokage. That was my recommendation. And then who would you put in as Hokage, bro? The forced removal of Hokage is the prerogative of the Land of Fire's daimyo. Once I have found evidence of Shikamaru's crime, with your consent, elders, I shall carry it out. Lord Eats, sensory unit here. A point of concern in the entry log. What is it? Several minutes ago, an individual matching Lord Jiraiya's tracker data appears to have entered the village. Kashin Koji? What the heck is he up to? He previously tied similar incursions to a member of Kara, raising the possibility of an enemy attack. Yes, I'm aware. Listen, this matter is now classified, and I will handle it personally. What is his present location? Alright, Koji's up. Sealing jutsu cuffs. I can't even use toads with these on. I was shocked that you managed to survive against Otsutsuki Ishiki. It's been a while, cautioned Koji. Hope you don't bear a grudge against me. I was prepared for what that mission required. I knew my role. It'd be illogical for me to feel any resentment. Great. You being alive is surprising enough, but even more intriguing, of course, is your shinjutsu, prescience. an ability to foresee all possible futures. My understanding is that visions of new permutations come to you through updates that occur irregularly and forcibly. The last update was 4 days ago, right? Before the battle against Mamushi. It was during that battle that I first became aware of prescience and came up with this scheme. In short, we're in a brand new future that the you of 4 days ago couldn't possibly have known about. I feel this is Prescience's greatest weakness, as in precondition's blind spot, which I exploited, and it worked, just like I had expected. But I mean, to be fair, Boruto has exploited it as well too. I mean, Kashin Koji didn't foresee the whole Boruto getting Kawaki to come in to help against Jura. Wait, no new chapter next month? Wait, what are you saying to me? Alright, hold on. One bad news at a time. You got cocky, Kashin Koji. You still have much to learn. For you to make such a bold move, what is your intention, Amado? I'll just tell you, since I'm sure Ada will see this anyway. There's Senrigan. I tweaked your brainwaves, just a little. What? Don't glare at me like that. I apologize for taking such heavy-handed measures, but hear me out. I'm not your enemy. I only put you in restraints as a precaution, so we could talk calmly. That depends on the details. What the hell did you do? The intel your prescience yields is an asset of immense value to us, yet it also has vulnerable flaws, like the one I took advantage of. That flaw, the interval between updates, is real problematic. If we can shorten it even a bit, we could not only learn new features more quickly and more precisely, but avoid danger more easily too. That was my thought. Despite how it seems, I am your creator, your birth parent, so I feel this comes from some sort of parental love. You're saying prescience will now update more frequently? Hopefully. It was an ultrasound-based procedure, no wounds, external or otherwise. Essentially, your brain is now more active than before. Worst case, I've only put my own mind at ease, but I simply wanted to do something helpful. Koji, look over there. That's my daughter Akibi's clone. It'd be interesting if if Koji gets an update now and sees a future with this clone, with something happening. Wait, Boruto D019? Oh, go on. Welcome to the stream. Up and running, we're live. I embedded Akibi's memories and genetic data in Kawaki's karma. Once Kawaki implants that karma in the clone, my daughter should be fully restored from the information in the karma, in the same way an Otsutsuki resurrects, which, again, I still kind of theorize that it's going to somehow pull Akibi's soul back from the Pure Land. Or would it just be like a perfect clone with Akibi's memories, maybe? But I think I'll go with the former in terms of theory. Tell me, Koji, have you seen a future where Kawaki implants a karma in that clone? I'm gonna be honest with you, not once. Due to Prescience's nature, every possible future I see ends up getting stored in my brain as a memory, so I can say with absolute certainty that there is not a single future so far where that has come to pass. So now I'm wondering, how is that going to affect Amado and what he does? Is he going to be more proactive going forward? Jura appears in every future, and in most of them, Kawaki is killed. Thank you. I'm glad we got to talk face to face. I look forward to the next update to see what sort of future this new present will lead to. Damn it, that bastard Amado, he's changed the code again. And I have Boruto appearing back at the base. No Kashin Koji. Koji's back. What the heck? Did something happen? Sort of. I'll tell you later. Inojin, you surprised me. What is it? Ada, it's Kashin Koji. Shikamaru, can you hear me too? Yeah, I'm here. What happened? What's Amado plotting? I'm about to look into that. Ada, I need you to review Amado's actions from the last hour or so. Could you stop bossing me around? It's annoying. Ada, it's very important. You're the only... Oh, there we go. Update. Koji, hey, what's up? It started. A prescience update. Alright. The model here. Oh, switching over to Sarada. Code's gonna come after me. Sarada, I want you to let him capture you. During our battle against Mamushi, Code quietly left claw marks all over the village. He could appear anytime he wants. He'll likely take you straight to their base, but don't worry, I'll fly right to you, using those symbols I just gave you. Would he be more likely to appear somewhere secluded? Alright. Let's see these futures here. We have Sarada, Code, Boruto seemingly activating Karma. We have Sumeri looking at something. Seems like a clog rhyme there. What else we got? Kawaki, we got Jura. Is that Jura eating soup? It looks like he has a spoon in his hand. Hidari, Sarada using her Mangekyo again. Looks like our eyes are bleeding. Anyway. Have Kun coming in, grabbing her, and taking her away. Alright. Ooh, Borushiki, Momoshiki coming back. I mean, to be fair, I did see some other YouTubers with this thumbnail, or at least some of this. So, yeah, this specific panel is spoiled on my part. But this is definitely Momoshiki in Boruto's body now, which is going to be crazy for everybody, to be honest. Like, with how strong Boruto is right now, honestly, Momoshiki taking over his body, gonna be crazy work. Koji, Boruto, listen to me calmly. Your plan to use Sarada's beat will fail. Oh shit. So wait, how? Oh no, it doesn't seem like Code knew, given that he had the question and exclamation. Now I see. I wonder why I sense Boruto's chakra emanating from you. It was these. The tools that helped him with teleportation. He was gonna use them to breach the Divine Tree's hideout. Damn it, this is bad. Mangekyo. Sorry, it's too late. Let's push her in. Hold on, Boruto, don't go, you'll... Damn it, that fool. And then... Sarada. Oh, wow. Why, bro? And end it right there. That's crazy, dog. That's insane to me. Hold on this. When is the next chapter for real? I gotta see. I'm not seeing a date. I'm not seeing a date. Not. Let me refresh this page. September? How weird? How did you guys get such information? Because usually they would update this to say. Is it in like V Jump magazine to say, oh, the next issue won't be until September? That's crazy to me, bro. Sarada versus Hidara will be 1v1 now. I mean, more than likely, it's going to be interesting. Wait, Assault X Soul? What going on? Jamaican, but no Rasta here. Not at all. But, wait until September. That's crazy, bro. September. Yeah, but there, you know, they're just taking in the chapter. Well, what can I say? It's an okay chapter, okay to decent chapter for the most part. What I always find interesting is whenever I feel like it's a more of like a teasing type of thing. Whenever like Ikimoto decides like he's going to make Amado do something, I think like the first thought in a lot of our heads, okay, here's the moment. Here's the moment Amado reveals his true hand, that he's the true final villain. and then it's like, oh no, he does something that is like healthy for the team, which I think is going to become like could be like something meme worthy for the most part. So yeah. But it makes sense. It makes sense. Again, being objective and being a scientist and being logical and how the dynamic between Kashin Koji and Amado has been, it makes sense for him to do something to modify the whole, Shinjutsu prescience and see if we can get some better updates and all of that. This is the last chapter of Volume 9, so it makes sense we get a big cliffhanger. Yeah, but 2 months, bro. That's ugh, that rough. 2 months. Jeez, jeez. When we kind of get cliffhangers and long waits like this, like bricks for a monthly manga, it makes the frustration of it being monthly even that more like painful, to be honest. But I thought it was an okay chapter for the most part, given everything that happened. I do like that the internal conflict between like the on the political side continues with Kobu and all of that. There's that story thread running same way. So that's good. Kind of adds to the, what's the word I'm looking for? That's the word I'm looking for. Slipping me. Was just on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, just for lack of a better term, the engagements. So I'm looking forward to seeing more with how the daimyo, the feudal lord, is going to do that, because right now, even this whole political aspect with the feudal lord chaperone, right now is the most like the feudal lord side of things has been involved in the story, really and truly. Apart from 1 and 2 points in, say, OG Naruto, the feudal lord are their party, his party of persons never really get involved in much stuff. So it's good to actually, see that kind of explored, even just in a sort of antagonistic way against the main team. I think it's pretty cool. Kind of makes the world feel more alive. So I like that. Um, Even though I'm kind of surprised that these these they the old fossils, they didn't like pick up like, oh, that sounds like you were under the influence of the Yamanaka clan's jutsu, because obviously they must have knowledge on that. They're coming from the third Okage's time. That's where the Alzheimer's kind of start setting. One of the two. From Ramos for this chapter. Really enjoyed it. Okay. Um but yeah, outside the political stuff, yeah, like again, I think it's going becoming a meme, at least to me in my head, in terms of the whole Amado. Yo, this is it. Reveal my dastardly plan, but he does something that's actually helpful. So, that's pretty. It's pretty funny to me. Like it's kind of meta. Because I'm almost positive the whole fan base was expecting some dastardly evil shit to be done when it comes on to Amado and Kashin Koji here, but this man is just trying to kind of speed up precedence to get an advantage and genuinely just try to see, what are the options to get his daughter revived. So I don't know, guys. Maybe we should drop being suspicious of Amado. Maybe he really is a good guy. Well, relatively speaking. Maybe we just need to just move on with our lives. So yeah, but the interesting part, or the good part, is that again with Kashin Koji relaying the information to him in terms of there's no future where he's seen, Kawaki managed to implant the karma on Akibi. Um, I feel that's setting things up for Amado to really just be more proactive in the story. Probably get more increasingly desperate. Maybe not initially, but it'll be kind of like a gradual thing. He'll become more and more desperate in terms of getting what he wants, essentially. So this chapter should be interesting to see how it sets the foundation for how Amado will act later on. So that's one thing to actually look out for. And I'm definitely interested in seeing how that plays out. So yeah. At one point I was expecting like Kashin Koji to get an update right then and there to see that Akibi is actually evil in the future, but I guess not. glad Ike brought back the political narrative and that is run alongside the main plot too. Yeah, because I feel like even going back to OG Naruto, like even coming out of say the Land of Waves arc, like the dynamic of that arc with like the mob boss and the whole it wasn't really say political, but it could be I don't know political adjacent, but the whole mob boss, ninjas for hire, and all that dynamic. I think persons in a nutshell wanted to see more of that, and we never really got that essentially, so kind of seeing the whole political aspect here is good. The only thing again that I don't like is again the whole issue of the lack of legacy characters, because yeah, you have the feudal lord and the feudal lord chaperone probably investigating to try to get Shikamaru out, but you're telling me there's no other like votes or voice or reason, like, oh, let's hear what the previous Hokage has to say, like, what do you think about that, it just again the issue of it's the world feeling kind of sterilized, or I have to kind of turn off my brain to make it believable, because again, where are the other characters in all of this, doesn't make sense. And yes, I know more than likely when it comes to the anime they'll probably correct that, but again, just judging the manga on its own merits, it's kind of weird to say the least. But it is what it is. But yeah, definitely this chapter is definitely going to be setting the foundation to see what Amado is going to do in the future. Probably going to be Konoha for night. Alright, let me look back at that. Konohamaru. I don't. Konohamaru's there. Well, probably. Probably that might be the case. Um, who knows? I mean, if if it ends up being Konoha for real, then you get some bonus points there. And you can still have in mind for Shikamaru's potential dismissal as Hokage. Um, while I would want for me to say someone like Kakashi coming back, because it's not like similar to like say Shikamaru's not necessarily fighting, and if the concern is going to be say like power scaling, oh Kakashi can't compete anymore, he doesn't necessarily have to fight, so you could definitely bring back Kakashi. But given the history of how Ikimoto is writing this and just kind of working with, I can't even say a small set of characters anymore, but the characters that he has on hand, yeah, it might be Konohamaru more than likely. Maybe the elders will say, "Oh, we were on team with the third, and you were taught by Naruto, and yada 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 yada." So it might be Konohamaru, a rare Konohamaru W. I mean, if you can even consider the Hokage position a W these days, to be honest, it just seems like stress, bro. To be honest, I could really, honestly, could not be bothered. But anyway, let me continue to give my review or analysis of the chapter here. All right, so we have Boruto coming back in, and of course, Kashin Koji being Kashin Koji, despite what Amado says, he wants to check things out with what Amado has been doing in the last hour, because, to be honest, I mean, despite what I was saying earlier about the whole meme thing about Amado, yeah, I don't really blame him. Probably Amado put some kind of feel safe in his brain too. You never know. I don't know. So I don't know. Probably he has some kind of chip in there. So anytime he gets prescience updates, they kind of get streamed to Amado's lab. So Amado has the information real time, same time as well. That could be a possibility. So um, so you never know. But yeah, getting the updates now. Because Sarada has kind of gone with Boruto's plan, but things aren't going as he intended, honestly speaking, with Code actually managing to, this is even a Code W, really? But managed to capture Sarada here. And of course, one of the big things is Borushiki. Granted, and he's on the same timeline as we see Kawaki here, who also has Karma activated. I'm not sure if it's level 2. There's something with Himawari coming up as well. It does seem like some Leaf Ninja. I do see a tree branch in the top left here. In another timeline, so I don't even know, fam. Oh wait, is this Jura with Shikamaru? I not even realize that, bro. Bro, listen, I'm just calling it now. Jura find Ishiki, secret stash the Ishiki wine, and I share it with Shikamaru. The man has like some sake cup in him hand, bro. The Ishiki wine, bro. The man I promoted, dog. Yo. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying in terms of the Hokage cloak beside Konohamaru, but that's in a separate part of that timeline. I mean, it could still be him, but you never know. You never know. It could be a hint. It could be a hint for real. So you're more in favor of a big cast or a small cast? Um, to me, it's not really like a preference between like a big cast or a small cast. It's just the cast members that make sense, really and truly. What I'm saying is that, for example, like, oh, Naruto, quote unquote, dies. Naruto's no big character. You don't really expect to see or hear any other character talking about it or giving their suspicions. You see how that just doesn't sound like it just doesn't make sense. So that's the point I'm trying to bring across. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why all these things are happening story wise, and none of the other characters are there showing up giving their advice, even if they're not going to fight. Like I was giving with my example Kakashi. Like, you could still have these characters in a more political, diplomatic, like board of directors type of thing. So I'm just saying, to me, again, going back to even my Naruto example, it doesn't make sense. Naruto quote unquote dies, and it's no big deal. Kakashi, Tsunade, nobody else, Killer Bee, the whole world, it's whatever. So it just feels like the whole lack of legacy characters just makes the story kind of feel sanitized, if you get what I mean. So it's not really in favor of big or small, it's just what I feel logically should be the case in terms of the characters that should be there. It's not like Boruto exists in a universe by itself. This is still in the Naruto universe. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying, fam. It would be kind of like, how should I put it? I don't know. Soul societies being destroyed, and Ichigo's not gonna show up. Ichigo is not important. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It wouldn't really make sense to me. Mentorship role. Oh, also, Sora has used her left eye for the first time, but cool pusher, which means that Kiko still have seen it for something. Potentially, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, when it comes to characters in the manga, yeah, basically is what I'm saying. It's just a case where the characters need to be able to be like logically should be able to show up, if you get what I'm saying. I'm cool like being more of a factor as long as it's in a mentorship role. Yeah, true. But the thing what kind of sucks about this is because original Naruto didn't really have this problem. And I know that kind of sounds away, but the fact that you still had the quote unquote legacy characters like the previous generation being present, at least to a degree, well, in a almost a balanced manner with the main cast of characters, right? So that's all I'm saying. Like, Boruto seemingly has lost that balance in the grand scheme. Yeah, you have Shikamaru, Sakura when they're ready to give her like a one panel. But it's so odd to me, like a lot of the characters aren't shown. Like, are they on vacation? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But anyway, as I was saying, we have Borushiki here. And we don't know, yeah, it's alarming because obviously this is Momoshiki in in Boruto's body. Just the way he looked, that look of, like kind of like this human filth, and the horn, of course, the big indicator. Considering that Boruto has been accessing full karma without the horn, so this is obviously Momoshiki, but we don't know in what capacity he's operating here. If it's going to be like an all-out fight against Juro and company, which I'm looking for. I want this to happen like as soon as possible, fam. Like, with the right build up. But this is definitely again setting the stage for things to come. And of course, the plan has failed, which kind of ramps up the things ending this volume and going into the next. Code getting a rare semi W, if I could put it that way. So we can more than likely expect Hidari versus Sarada, really and truly. Which I'm really looking forward to. I need more pounds of Boruto without his cloak. He looks so fly. Yeah, it might look fresh. Can't knock it. Cannot knock it, to be honest. So yeah. We have Sarada versus Hidari. Where more than likely maybe her second ability is going to be shown. Um, Even though there probably might be a chance there might be not be a second ability. Maybe it's just like a variation on Ohirume or Ohirum, however it's pronounced. Like how Sasuke can cast Amaterasu with one eye, and then it's flame control or blaze release with the other eye, really and truly. It could be like a play on Ohirume, really and truly, but I guess we'll see. Because going up against Hidari, um, I mean, based on previous performance, I would say Sarada should have it, especially with how busted her Mangekyo is. But considering that the last time she tried to use it, well, tried to use it more than once in 1D. Probably she has one good shot off before it really exhausts her eyesight and chakra. And then it's going to be kind of in Hidari's favor after that. So I don't know. It's anybody's guess how that's going to play out. Granted, I'm kind of on the fence because I'm kind of expecting Hidari like to do what a lot of us are theorizing and kind of somehow help her get Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Because of course he's one of those characters where his desires and his development as a quote-unquote individual or person is more than likely going to clash when it comes on to seeing his target Sarada in front of him. So yeah, and then you have to factor in as potentially cringe or non-cringe or however you want to classify it is. But he's been reading books, he's been gaining knowledge, developing as a person. So it's anybody's guess how he's going to go. I wonder if Sarada will deal with Code or Hidari before they fight. I wouldn't be surprised if she fights Code and Hidari kind of just humbles Code in the process, or probably somehow saves Sarada. Somehow. Again, if Code somehow manages to get her on her ability, because again, like I was saying, at the end of the day, right now, Sarada has limited use of her Mangekyo ability before she goes blind. Like, she's literally, I think this next fight is it. So something is going to have to be put in place for her to get Eternal. And I think maybe a fight between her and Code and Hidari is going to result in maybe Hidari doing something for her to get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan through a very unnatural or roundabout way, more than likely. So I think that's going to be the case. So yeah, like I know she'll be with her Holly, honestly, or more in her BS personally. Yeah, that's a good point, Obito. I think knowing her, she'll try to use it strategically too. Now that you mentioned it, she'll probably stay in BS or level 3 Tomoe, and try build up from there. Kind of save the Ohirume for like, oh, I only got one shot on this. Let me build up and then set the stage, and then boom, I got them. So Yeah, I feel it's going to kind of play out something along the lines of that. Um, so yeah, which is good. Good. I'd love to see that because again, I know the power scaling discussion when it comes down to these Boruto 2 Blue Vortex characters is going to be always be a continuous thing. So it should be interesting to see how she operates in BS, really and truly, against these quote unquote beyond Jigen level opponents. So yeah, let's see. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, for the most part, I thought it was a decent chapter, an okay chapter. Kind of more so foundation building, setting more like setting the stage, you know. Amado, things kind of going not according to plan with the whole Sarada code situation, multiple futures, and of course the future threat of, or probably future help of Momoshiki himself taking over Boruto's body. That's going to be interesting to see. My rating for the chapter, I would say it's a strong 7, 7.5 for me. Nothing crazy wrong, but yeah, thought it wasn't okay to a decent chapter. But we really have to wait until September. That is going to be a hassle, bro. But I guess you don't really have to do anything but wait, right? So, what can you do? Only discussion videos and all that jazz until then. You know, an idea just came to mind, right? Like, I know there's a possible theory of Akibi coming back and being evil, but what if, like, I don't know, like somehow some not necessarily Shibai, maybe like some other Otsutskis in like the outer verse, like the Pure Land, traversing multiple dimensions outside the living world and somehow sees all this madness going on with on Earth right now. It's like, oh, let me go over to the Pure World, let me talk to Akibi. You know, let me kind of shift things, put in place so there's some future where you are revived and they use Akibi as some Otsutsuki agent or something like that. Oh wow. Is this his first break for real? I don't think he hasn't taken a break. Wasn't there a break after like chapter 14 or 15? No? I could be tweaking, but you can let me know. But this is the first break? Well, fair enough, fair enough. Yes, I can't. I can't bash him then. Can't bash him. So I guess September October is only 4 more chapters for the year then. I guess it's which is fine because I'm of the opinion they might announce the anime's return at Jump Festa in December. Probably. It's my assumption. This is nothing confirmed. So yeah. But alright, I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see. But what did the rest of you guys think about the chapter though? Like what are you guys' ratings? Any complaints? Any expectations going into it? Um And anything you want to say about the potential futures? Because obviously there's a future there where you have Jura, promoting the Ishiki wine with Shikamaru. I'm gonna scroll back down to it. It's the 9? Okay, cool, cool. Uh I would think in this future right here is where Momoshiki takes over Boruto. I'm kind of really curious. This future that I'm seeing here with Sumeria and then the Clog Rhyme. Huh. I'm very curious. What if Borushiki teams up with Kawaki? Yeah. That's a possibility too. Because to be honest, I think even showing Borushiki here, while it is a big tease, help us to get engaged and look forward to the future. It's part of the whole, pros for this chapter of just setting the foundation going into the next volume or coming chapters. Like, I don't see Momoshiki necessarily doing anything too evil. Too evil. I think it might be like a team up type of thing, really and truly. Realistic, what do you think Sarada's second Mangekyo Sharingan ability will be? That's the thing though. I don't know, fam. Like, that's what I said. Realistically, I was kind of comparing to like, oh, Sasuke has Amaterasu, and really and truly, Sasuke's unique special Mangekyo Sharingan ability is just literally Blaze Release or Flame Control, really and truly, which really is just a manipulation of something his eyes can already do. So I'm saying, given that Sarada's ability is already busted, maybe her second ability is just some other manipulation of that already existing ability, you know? So, I mean, but the creative juices aren't really flowing to say what that would be, honestly. So my bad, my bad there. Great setup chapter. Looks like Shinju Saga is reaching its apex, starting with Sarada versus Daria, and most likely ending Jura versus everyone. Yeah. More than likely, that's going to be what happens. More than likely, Jura's gonna be like coming to Shikamaru and say, "Hey, fam, listen, I got this wine." But all right, seriously though, I think he's gonna come to Shikamaru and say like, "Yo, fam, listen. I know we seem like a threat, and then he'll try to have some diplomatic discussion with Shikamaru, and then it probably just won't work out, and it busts out into like Juro versus everybody for real." Yeah, I was more curious about Moegi and Konoha and Sumire and the Cloggers. I wonder what part of this the Psychers will play, because it's interesting that the 10 paths showed them. Yeah, true. I think you summed it up perfectly. I believe that. Yeah. I'm saying it's just that her first ability is already so busted. Like, to have something else like that's radically different, like, you know, Itachi has Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi. Nah, I feel like with her, it's just gonna be something that kind of plays on what she already has. But yeah, I'm kind of very curious about these futures. And yeah, even with Moegi and Konohamaru being involved as well, I think is good. I mean, coming out of the last arc, side character getting the big W, Inojin. Like, so yeah, I think it's time to kind of, if we're not going to solve or mitigate the problem, the logical problem, I think, of not having a lot of legacy characters being present for stuff, then you gotta up the thing when it comes on to the side characters. And we already had a big win with Inojin, so yeah, man, I think this is going to be good. Probably could be a case Moegi would be like, you know, while I was in the tree, like, I got this information or something like that. Maybe while I was sharing chakra, I was somehow connected to Jura and yada yada yada. And oh, something's coming, like Doctor Doom, Doomsday, Avenger. You know, something like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing paint at the wall here. If you look in the 10 parts panel, it's very small, but there are multiple of them that show Sarada earring, which makes me think that's how they'll find her. Her earring. Well, true. It could be. I'm not gonna dismiss it, but I would think that Code would have sensed it and taken the earrings too. You know? No cap. I'm hoping for a Civil War like old characters versus new gen. Maybe. You think that, like, the daimyo is going to like, oh, Kakashi, Tsunade, etc., etc. You gotta apprehend these people. Again, like I've said before, the problem with, like, even though I want the legacy characters to come back in, I'm wondering if like the milk has spilt like too far, because if they come back in, Ikimoto is then going to have to explain where they have been all this time. So I think it could result in something being left to just being corrected in the anime, because we've seen in the past that they've tried to make some changes to include the characters in the anime. So yeah. Spirit you see, which makes me think Kawaki eyes, Walan. But yeah, true. She could be just looking through Kawaki's eyes too. Vortex is gonna use Ada big time this arc to find a Shinju hideout. That's my prediction. That's the next thing too. What's part of the setup for this this arc as well is with Sarada kind of out of the picture. You know, like in recent months, essentially, we've been kind of, you know, talking about like Boruto's character and what it's been lacking, and I mean, myself, I know Mello has done some videos on his frustrations with Boruto's character, but I think similar to what we got, I believe it was last chapter, like that chink in the Boruto too cool armor that kind of shows the nuance that there's nuance to his character. It's not just I'm just badass and that's it. I think this is the perfect setup to get even more like a deeper look beyond the surface of Boruto's character in Two Blue Vortex. Because if Sarada's in trouble, if Best Girl's in trouble, it might lead to him feeling a bit more frustrated. Similar to how I'm kind of setting things up, where I'm saying Amado might do things more proactively, more desperately. Maybe we'll get to see Boruto in a different light, more dynamic. So I think this could be a 8 out of 10 chapter in hindsight when I think about that. So yeah. Oh boy. But it's interesting though, because before huh, like you would think, I don't know if code's ever been presented as like a sensory type, but I guess persons can generally sense chakra, generally. But I wonder what's special about this hand this prosthetic he's made. There's anything super special about it. This man be doing some Magneto level shits. Oh boy. I wonder what Kashin Koji was going to say to Boruto. Hold on, Boruto, don't go. You'll that fool. Kinda curious. Kinda curious. But anyway, this has been a really great setup chapter. Um I'm really curious about a lot of the futures that we saw. The potential for Sarada versus Code versus Hidari. If Hidari is going to. And it's interesting, even in the future with Hidari, even though we have this panel here, we have the middle panel of him kind of reaching out his hand, but they don't show the eyes clearly. So I'm wondering if that's hinting at anything as well. I think Boruto will turn into Borushiki right away since he can't find Sora. That's why Koji told him not to go. Oh, I see. It's like, okay. Like, Momoshiki, do your thing, help me find Sarada. I mean, potentially. Potentially, that could be it. And who knows, maybe he'll transform and then Kawaki will come and try to fight him. Because if I look at this panel here to the right, like, yeah, I would imagine that Kawaki is kind of staring down Borushiki. So guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. And I'm wondering how Himawari is going to fit into all of this. Yo, there's so many questions. This prescience thing, bro. Like the theories are going wild, fam. Yo, this is crazy. Crazy. But I think what would be interesting as well, if this right here is, even if we get like Borushiki versus Kawaki, if this is going to be the start of the whole Kawaki changing his mind on killing Boruto, provided they still stick to the exact dialogue from the flash forward. Because again, for those of you who don't remember, I've actually brought this up already. I did a video maybe it might have been 2, maybe even 4 years ago at this point. But the point is, Kawaki, in terms of the dialogue he has in the flash forward, he wants to send Boruto the way of the seventh. So that to me implies he no longer wants to kill Boruto per se. So I'm wondering if this will also be the start of Kawaki kind of slowly changing how he wants to go about quote unquote killing all Otsutsuki, if he's going to introduce some nuance to like how he's going to go about this. I'm just gonna put this out there. If Sarada uses Ohiruma and she's able to hold Jura, Code, and Hidari in place with the 3 orbs, but then she goes blind, she's stronger than Borushiki and Kawaki. Yeah, true. Like if she can. But bro, like I'm not gonna lie. I am not going to lie. D. Just bear with me. It's similar to how Boruto used Uzahiko on Juro. It's like, oh, so it kind of makes use of the Earth's rotation. Let me just cancel that out. I personally feel like Juro is just gonna like, gravity. Let me just cancel that. Let me honestly feel like so foolishness like that gonna happen. To be honest, like I honestly feel that's gonna be the case, fam. Yo, like anybody just gonna say, "Oh, gravity." How about if there was no gravity? Yo, honestly, like watch and see. Watch and see. Yo, Drew probably won't be there when she fights Hidara and Code, but she actually can control Code in Hidara once. Yeah. True. I'm sure Shinju can fly, by the way. Yeah, but I don't think flight is gonna necessarily help them with the whole gravity situation. Yeah. If Jiro cancel, it's going to be a meme, bro. Like it was like, oh, I don't know what it is. Maybe like being the Ten Tails itself and being connected to nature. Like he has an understanding, like a sixth sense, like an instinct in terms of how nature operates. It's like gravity. Maybe he just like temporarily reduces his mass to like almost zero, so he can like freely move. So the gravity effects don't really like affect him as much, really and true. Or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he transforms into light. Unless I don't know. I'm just throwing things at the wall here. Like, throwing things at the wall. But possibilities. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised again if like even in this fight, I do expect from a hacks base she will be able to hold Code and Hidari. And if Jura doesn't pull anything Jura, then Jura as well. But I think in this fight, like outside of like just going blind and the chakra requirements for the technique, I think from a fair fight perspective, we'll probably see the limits of her ability there, really and truly. But we'll see. We'll see. Yo, listen, I want Jura to just do something funny, bro. Like it was hilarious though. Jura actually funny, bro. Like, but not like I think probably one of the scenes that I am really dying to see right now is even this Jura and Shikamaru future, really and truly that. Cause the man have like a glass or a cup or a sake cup in their hands, like, yo, Shikamaru, you have to try this wine. Like I discovered it at the bar, and yo, don't tell any lie. You know it's possible it can happen. Like you know it. Yo, I wonder if Ikemoto will go the Sasuke Itachi and make the fight a long drawn out one. I mean, probably. I mean, Sasuke versus Itachi was like what, 8 to 10 chapters, give or take. But I don't know. Probably. What I'm hoping, because again, if we're still having that narrative thread of Sarada becoming Hokage, I think it is important for her to learn about the Uchiha clan and all that jazz and blues. And I'm thinking similar to like how Mamushi instinctively recalled who Bug was. Or sorry, not Bug. Damon. I'm wondering if through like a potential fight between Hidari and Sarada, if it's a case where Hidari be like, oh, you remind me of such and such killed the clan, and like information that Sarada wasn't able to get. Because you guys watched that one episode in the anime, she tried going to the library, and a lot of information wasn't really, privy to her. So I'm wondering if it's a good opportunity to learn, like how we could learn about Madara and a lot of her history of the clan, etc. that happened through the Sasuke versus Itachi fight. It could be like a repeat of that, but obviously to match the context here. So yeah. But anyway, that's all I have for this one, guys. Respect for coming out. I need to go on a little, get some exercise in and then dinner and all that jazz and blues. So yeah, I think this has been another solid chapter, really and truly. So yeah, man. Respect for coming out. Obito, Galaxy D, Assault X Soul, and who else may I miss? Bio, Of course, and H2O Cobra. Boruto Zero, well, Boruto D019. Now, the shout out to everybody, honestly speaking. Um, 2 months, 2 months till the next chapter. I don't know. I don't think we need to kind of up the thing and try push out some discussion videos and stuff. Maybe, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Just bear with me, please. But yeah, man, have a great night, everyone. Stay safe, get some food, and just chillax, cause work again tomorrow. But yeah, man, peace.